Welcome to Lutherans Alive. We believe that God is doing wonderful things through us. This is the program that seeks to tell the stories of Lutheran Christians and their ministries here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I'm Pastor Tony Schneck, your host, and pleased to be here today with Rich Mohr Kelly. Rich is a diaconal minister here in our synod, serves the Stewart Avenue Lutheran Church and a United Church of Christ congregation just about 4 blocks away, both in the Carrick neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Rich, welcome today. We're pleased to have you. Could you say perhaps a few words at the outset here about your own journey, how you ended up being a diaconal minister, or as you said before the program, sometimes the shorthand is to say that you're a deacon in the Lutheran Church. Could you say a few words about your journey?
I was born and raised and spent the first 15 years of my life Roman Catholic, as a non-practicing Catholic. And in my neighborhood, in my little Swedish ghetto that I grew up in St. Paul, there was a little Lutheran church that I walked by every day on my way to school. And one Sunday morning when I was 15, I decided I'd stop in. And I kept going and going and going, and the pastor got me involved with what the church was doing. I couldn't carry a tune. He had me in the choir, and so after that, I got involved with what our neighborhood church was doing. Went to college in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where I began to entertain a call to ministry, and applied for MDiv, was in fact denied that and encouraged to explore other forms of ministry. So it was a tough shot to take, but I went ahead and went to seminary, and all on my own. Had my call been about me, I probably would have quit some time ago, but continued on through Wartburg. One day when I was feeling particularly cynical and bitter about the whole thing, a man approached me in the refectory and inquired about who I was, wanted to get to know me a little bit, and told him where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. And at that time I was thinking that because I'm visually impaired that I needed to have a sort of a specialized type of ministry. And I was thinking, where could I best serve? I thought prisons or jails or nursing homes, hospitals, some sort of thing like this. And he said, my synod has a program that's just for you. It's a year-long CPE program in the Oshkosh State Correctional Institution. And by the way, I'm the bishop of the synod. And I said, okay. So I was off to Oshkosh. I went for a year. It was the best year, one of the best years of my life, and I really felt particularly called to that, and diaconal ministry seemed to go right along with that area about bringing church and society together. And so I got back from that internship, that CPE residency, went back to seminary, and I fell in love with my wife, Patricia, who serves as pastor at Stewart Avenue. And we got an internship. And that internship said Pittsburgh. Neither one of us had ever been to Pittsburgh. And so my wife took her internship at Emmanuel in Bellevue. And I did a pseudo-internship kind of thing at Trinity Northside with Pastor John Cochran and Pastor John Calkins. And we fell in love with Pittsburgh, with every bit of Pittsburgh, with the people, with the churches, just fell in love with the place. And our first call turned out to be, we went back to seminary, and our first call turned out to be to Michigan, so we went off to Michigan. My wife began to entertain a second call, and we got the opportunity to come back to Pittsburgh. We said if we ever got the chance to come back to Southwest PA, we'd be there in a minute. And it came to pass. And along the way, I learned some things. I learned in the prison the the gift of that denial, that postponement that first happened to me. We tend to miss doing a lot of effective ministry because we're afraid to say no. And the fact that candidacy committee way back when said no to me turned out to be one of the biggest gifts that ever could have happened, because I landed here, I got to go to the prison. It was it got to be a wonderful blessing in disguise. And when we were on internship in Pittsburgh, I learned that, oh, my ministry doesn't have to be confined to a prison, to a nursing home, to a hospital, to some sort of specialized facility. I can, in fact, do ministry in a parish. And so I was able to expand my vision for ministry for myself.
If we truly do believe that the Spirit is at work in those processes of candidacy, becoming either a pastor or a diaconal minister in our Lutheran church, if we really believe that the Spirit is at work in those processes, and that the Spirit is at work in our lives, and that all things do indeed work to the good for those who love God, and that God will get us where we need to be. It sounds as if God got you to where you needed to be.
Pittsburgh provides a wonderful place to do that. I don't need to travel all over to do it. We have such wonderful neighborhoods and such wonderful streets and such wonderful people on those streets. And you can walk to wherever you want to go. We've got wonderful public transit, and just walking the neighborhoods, saying hi, meeting people. That's what we're doing. We're doing mission in that neighborhood.
That's great. It may be helpful for some of our viewers to know as well, just in some of the terminology, that some of it might be clarified. Pastors, when they go to seminary, receive a Master's of Divinity degree and are ordained to the ministry of Word and Sacrament. A diaconal minister is, the work of a diaconal minister is a little bit different. Could you say a word about how the work of a diaconal minister blends the work of church and the society, neighborhood, the world in which we live?
Well, a pastor would get a Master of Divinity degree, and I get an MA degree, and that's my degree is a 2-year program, whereas a pastor would have a 4-year program. Mine got a little bit extended because of my year-long CP experience. But then we go to a formation event at Gettysburg Seminary for 2 weeks in July and in between those years, and then we get a call and are consecrated to a particular ministry. I ended up with 2 focuses in ministry, and one in prison and jail ministry, and another in urban ministry.
We're going to take just a short break, and we'll be back here with more with Rich Mohr Kelly in just a moment.